In the world we're in today, maximising performance is critical. Finding opportunities to drive sales, to minimise costs, to enhance the profit is part of your job as a manager. Talking about money is not a dirty word. In fact, commerciality is critical to the ongoing success of the business that you work in. But if you're watching this, when was the last time somebody taught you the concept of critical thinking? And I'm assuming probably not, because every time I talk about this and I ask a room full of people, what courses have you been on to teach you critical thinking? Probably less than 10% of the room put their hand up. Critical thinking is the skill of interrogating data, of joining the dots. Think about a P&L review, or looking at the rota, or reading the TripAdvisor review that's given you a 3.9 and you're desperately targeted on a 4.5. The concept of critical thinking is reading between the lines to join the dots to create intelligent actions. But when did you teach somebody critical thinking, or when were you taught critical thinking? The reality is not, and of course, we're not going to teach critical thinking as a skill on here today. The point of this is the top tip, is to wake you up to, are we teaching our teams how to critically appraise a profit and loss? Not just read the numbers. The reality is, when I ran a pub back in the 1990s, yes, it was that long ago, I could probably have made a lot more money and made a lot more bonus had somebody taught me how to critically appraise. I would read the P&L. I would read the numbers and I'd go, yes, that's good, no, that's not good. What I wouldn't do is think about, if I was able to add 1% to the food margin, what is that going to do to the overall bottom line? And if I'm able to do something to the bottom line, the profitability, can I actually give myself a little bit more space on my labour line? Critical thinking is about not seeing your data as individual streams or numbers. It's about seeing patterns wherever you are. The pattern of labour versus the pattern of net promoter score versus the pattern of sales versus who's on in the kitchen at that time versus speed. There are thousands of patterns available to us, and critical thinking is about joining the dots to drive performance. The thinking point here is, if you're not talking about critical thinking to your team, then we're not necessarily helping them learn it. And if nobody's ever helped you learn how to critically think, then perhaps you need to go and ask and work with your organisation to put something in place. Critical thinking is the concept that can help drive performance through people. You just have to know how to do it.